I have been thinking for the last month a lot about greed. And I've been thinking about greed for a long time, maybe a year. And a lot of the economic collapse talk is about greed. And let's face it, greed is what would build the kind of systems that we rely on today, which are usury based. But what is really greed? I think I've, at least for myself, taken it down to what I can use as a root. And I think the root of greed is if man or woman, but man, if man has thievery in his heart. If man has thievery in his heart, he will certainly chase money and all that will come with it. But man will also have to pick injustice to another man in that paradigm. Because if you have greed in your heart, how do you get away from that? And what is greed? Well, it's said that greed is the root of all evil. Or, there's biblical applications and philosophical explanations for it. But when I had money, I figured out, for myself at least, what greed would mean for me. And that's the best you can always do, because we live in different worlds. And when I had a lot of money, I liked to share it. I liked to use it to create things. I paid all of my bills. I was responsible with every penny. And what I had to learn over time was, if I have to write a check to pay a bill or anything, it's okay if I stress about it, but it's not okay if I decide to take that money for myself when it rightfully belongs to somebody else. And that's like if somebody does work for you, really hesitating to pay them, or setting up a construct where you don't pay them, and it's left out there. It's a tie that's never taken care of, and you can't really do that with people. You can't do that with people and end up having good people in your life. And if you don't have good people in your life, you won't have good experiences. And if you can't have good experiences, you'll never feel like you have anything. It doesn't matter how much money you have or privilege or access to anything. But if man has thievery in his heart, there's also a part of man and woman as well that will trick themselves and will trick others. And I view that as being unwilling to declare how you're going to do your business, how you do your business. And that's the game of politics. We're told that they're doing one thing, but totally doing something else. Totally. Like, it's an irrefutable fact that they're doing something else. So that game in and of itself is all elevated by greed. And can governments get it right? Yeah, they can get it right. Will they get it right in the future if there's some disclosure? But we're not going to necessarily live under that system for the next 20 years. It will fall of its own weight. So then man is always in that position where he is in when he incarnates at any other point in time, which is that he's responsible for his own life, and he's responsible for his dealings, whatever those dealings may be. And when those dealings come into the light of day, are they good? Are they essentially good? And very few people ever have access to the light of your life. They don't know you that well. But do you live as if the full light of God was always upon you? And in this instance, when I say the full light of God, I mean the full light of what you would ever bring before God to ask forgiveness or to have cleared away or to rectify. Is that part of you that's in the light of God? Is that part good? And I think money as a commodity, as a tool, as a system that we're bound to, even though got a long way to become liberated. You can get liberated from parts of it if you live like that. If you live without thievery in your heart. Without thievery in your heart. And going forward, because I'm one of the people who believes that I'm going to remain here on the earth no matter what galactic interchange I am having and that I know is out there. I believe that I'm here for a reason, and I'm fundamentally happy about embracing that reason. And going forward, you know, the world can be made anew with money and all resources if you deal with people that you know don't have thievery in their hearts. And the next video that I'm going to make is about spiritual mistakes about money.